20s are for growth.
Growth, falling in love, and taking risks. You can't waste them.
Not your golden years.
They're precious.
See more, do more, and be more.
20s diary, I went to Scotland. As per my board that I made the year before, travel out the state and the country. I mean, if I travel out the country, I travel out the state, but I don't know if I went to a different state this year. I'm thinking I might have went to New York, but I don't remember. I have to check my pictures. But yes, out the country, stats checked off, so yay. So today I'm just gonna go over some cultural differences and like fun little things I spotted the difference between America and Scotland. I went to Aberdeen and I went to Edinburgh, so sorry if I mispronounced that, but I went to those two cities, and then I stay mostly in the West Coast, so that's my frame of reference there. And I visited a couple places on the East Coast, Boston, New York, those type of big cities, Nashville, those type of places. So I have some other references where I can compare them, but mostly I'm going to be speaking differences between LA, the West Coast, and what I saw in Scotland. So boom, the second we were flying over Scotland, I was like, no, I need cultural differences. I was in shock. The nature, like the nature, like obviously everywhere there's different hot spots in the US where there's, you know, in the national forest are known for like nature, like Montana and Utah and stuff. And there's some pretty places here, but nowhere that compares to how gorgeous it was out there. Like even from the aerial view, I've never seen so much greenery. The air quality just felt so different. I was breathing in fireflies. It just felt like a different magical summer camp area over there, so I really appreciated that. Also, just like every single place I went, I was like, oh, they need to put a Walmart Supercenter right here. Where is the 7-lane highway? Like I was not seeing that mass volume of like cement and just gray. Every area was like broken up with lots and lots and lots and lots of nature, just like varying shades. It was like really beautiful actually. And when we went, it wasn't too rainy too, so I was seeing so many hues. I was in love. So I love that. And now that makes me think, I was like, before I was like, nature's cool and all, but I'm an indoor person. Now I'm like, wait, I could be outdoorsy. So that was something really special. So one of the top things I wrote was a lot of use of blue and yellow in ads. Like I feel like we have like IKEA, but in IKEA is like Swedish, and like Best Buy, Blockbuster back in the day, but like the amount of like small mom and pop shops who were using blue and yellow, it actually stood out to me. I was like, oh, that's different. That's a little bit different. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't a big thing, but I was just like, whoa, like now I'm in a new place. I said normal sized cars, no small cars, but no trucks. So when I was in Aberdeen, I didn't really see that many like small cars, and I told that to my friend. She's like, you're literally insane, like look at this. And then she spent the whole time like pointing out fun colors, small cars. So I'm actually gonna readjust that to say there's no big body trucks. So like obviously the very American Ford F-150 extended cabin, this. There were obviously none of those, but like not seeing those really was a big cultural shock and like big division. So I really appreciate it, obviously, because they're not safe for pedestrians, and we were walking a lot. So I really appreciate it. And in America, you would see like every 10. Okay, well, I'm in the West. Let me stop saying America. So let me just say in California. In Southern California, you would see like I would say every 10 cars is a big body truck, and also like, and then every 20 cars is like a Cybertruck. So it's like, I was really glad to not see that. Oh, okay, this one was so different, and it took me a second to realize. I was like, what is different that's messing me up? Because I'm acting a fool. And it's that crosswalks are in the middle of the street with lights. So like every crosswalk to like, you may now cross the street, is at a corner. Yeah, I can't even say like mostly, like literally I've never seen this ever until I left to Scotland. So their sidewalks aren't lined up. First of all, they're not on the corner, which is definitely safer. But then when you go here, then you have to go over here and then cross, which once again is another safety measure. That's how you know they think about the pedestrians. As I'm walking, I'm like, these are great decisions people need to implement. Oh, look at that. Like in California and all the major cities I've been to in the East Coast and in the middle of the US, everything is in the corner, right? Maybe not in New Haven, but anyways, that means when people are making right turns or left turns, it kind of feels dangerous because you're kind of like turning, and then someone might not see you and they're just going zoom. So you have to be like peer around the corner, be like, I'm turning. Is it okay for me to turn that you won't hit me? And multiple times, as me walking as a college student too, people have like just, and I was standing right there on the curb. I was like, I was about to step into where that car could have just, mowed me down. So obviously this is obviously way safer, but I kept being like, okay, I don't know, it was disarming. But like I took some pictures, so I'll try and insert those. But like I kept being like, what? There was something about the numbers too. Oh yeah, and then also the crosswalk in, I think it was mostly in Edinburgh, the crosswalk was different and it kept tripping me up. I didn't like it, actually. I didn't like it at all. This time I do prefer California and the West Coast. I didn't like it. I think it was just like way too short. Yeah, it was way too short, but I think it's because they didn't expect you to make like the full distance. They have like resting spots in the middle. So these are the crosswalks, and then there's like a barrier in the middle. So you'd be like walk, 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 and then you couldn't get all the way through because the light turned off. So you just rest in the middle, and then cars are going both directions, but you're like on a standing cement, and then you would go to the next one. So it's like 2-part crosswalk. So the time was slow, but I didn't like that. I was like, let me just book it and let me make it. I don't want to be in between 2 cars. I feel like that's not safe in that sense for somewhere that really cares about safety. Okay, there's also a lot of alleys, and alleys in my head as a Californian, it's like dangerous. It's like a spooky place that people are going to jump out and rob you and gun you down, and something spooky is gonna happen to you if you pass alleys. Like when I see alleys, I speed up. I'm like, pew! So I can cross it as fast as possible and not somebody, you know, be able to walk past me. There's a sheer amount of alleys. I've never seen so many alleys in my life. And that just, yeah, that's just the matter of that. I had bus stops that are sometimes backwards. I used to take the bus a lot in college, and all of our bus stops face like the street. So this is the cars are going choom, and the bus stop is this one. But like in Edinburgh and Aberdeen, and they were like this way. And I was talking to my friend about it, and she said it's probably because like the weather, like it rains so much there that when cars are coming, obviously it's gonna splash them, so they designed against that. So I just feel like there's a lot of like public design efforts made by the city and to actually help the people. And in us, I don't know if that would be the case. They'd be like, no, if we do that, then the homeless will sit there. So that's unfair. Okay, this is another public, I guess I was mostly noticing infrastructure, but another one was a lack of use of red in the street signs and signs that indicate no. So like in the US, if let's say you want to exit a door, but it's like an emergency door and no one's supposed to go out there, it's drenched in red. Like, you know, that door is radioactive. Don't press on that door and try and open it. Everything will start blaring. So they exit red. But in a couple places that I saw, I was like, oh wait, that's an emergency exit. Oh, like, but there was like a tiny little thing be like, don't enter. I'm like, excuse me, I'm gonna be the dumb American who's like, well, I didn't see that. They're like, it was right there. I was like, no, it needs to be right there, you know what I mean? And there were some parking signs that were like that. I think I took up a couple examples. So like, 1, stop, don't park here, and then versus 1 in America. So yeah, so that was one thing. Luckily I didn't make any mistakes and accidentally do something I wasn't supposed to, but I would actually appreciate just lay it on thick. Yeah. Tram, bus, bikes, rides alongside my car. Oh yes, another cultural difference. I was shocked amount of cars that were on the street at the same time. So you had the tram, the bus, the bikes, the cars, all going, just intermixing on the road. I think I took a picture of this too, but if that was me as someone who had to drive my car, I would just walk everywhere. That is so scary. I feel like I would be almost catching a case every time I turned or something, because I would just hit somebody, or the train. I'd hit the train. But obviously I don't know how long it takes them to get their license, but I feel like they need a specialized license with the amount of mixing that was going on. So obviously you can see that we don't have, in California and Southern California, we don't have that level of other methods of transport that I'm even noticing that. But I was like, how is everybody here at the same time? It's scary. And they also had their own like lanes and stuff. Like they thought about it very clearly on how it should go, but like I was not. I mean, it was cool, but I would never drive there. So one thing, they had so many roundabouts, and even when we have a couple I've driven through, like I can like count them on my hand. And if I see it in the maps before I go somewhere, if I can like see a roundabout, I'm gonna choose a different way, because they just stress me out so bad. I'm not comfortable driving them. But they had so many. They had like 20. I was like, oh my god, how are you guys doing this? Pray for me. But all the taxi drivers were like whipping around like a pro. But yeah, we just have roads like just like a grid. And maybe if you're in San Fran, a little other stuff. I guess San Fran does have some trams, but I just wrote gas stations. I don't remember what I meant about gas stations. I don't know what I meant about them. Sorry. This is another cultural shock that I should have expected, but yeah, as someone who went through the DARE program in Southern California, the amount of smoking, I was like, you guys didn't have the drugs, alcohol? What does DARE stand for? Hold on. And everyone says that program was a major fail. I beg to disagree. DARE program. Drug abuse resistance education. I was educating myself. I said smoking is bad. Obviously I'm joking, but like, yeah, that was not true. I was like, what if I was pregnant? What if I had asthma? I was like, because I don't know, I didn't like it. We were literally waiting in line and someone was like smoking too. They're smoking here, smoking there, like literally it's everywhere. And I guess some people but it's like very, very rude, but like some people, especially like maybe younger people who vape, will smoke in like club lines, like in the lines for like where there's other young people around, but like in mixed age groups and stuff, you don't really see people just smoking in line and stuff. And if they do, they're getting hella dirty looks. But here everyone was just like, I was like, this is business normal, I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. But the thing that I kept thinking was like, secondhand smoke is worse for you than smoking secondhand smoke. I was like, how are you putting me in worse danger than yourself? And I didn't even do anything to you. That's not right. Okay, another thing, California is very woke. I feel like in like interpersonal, like you could everyone you speak to, you would just automatically think they're woke. You can speak to them about any vulnerable social group you belong to, whatever, and they won't bat an eye and they won't make it a whole fuss. But I wasn't really expecting that over there. But for them, I thought they were very woke because one, they had so many public projects that you would read it, be like, oh wow, this is such a beautiful mural, beautiful like sculpture or planting or whatever. And then it would be, I think we saw one thing for deaf people, and then one thing for autism people, and then also there were so many like tags, as in graffiti, that were just like, whoa. They were just like trans lives matter, this, da, 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 da. And I was like, that's really awesome. Like, how beautiful is it if your graffiti is just like spreading positive messages? So I hope that's true, that it's actually woke, but I feel like it is. And also we were listening to the news and stuff, and like people were like reporting on people suing for something, and I was like, she's suing for a blessing. I was like, in America, everyone would be congratulating you if somebody did that for you, but then they were like, that's not enough. I was like, yeah, that's not enough. So that was really cool. Okay, we have 2 more cultural shocks. I'm trying to hope I remember everything. I hope this is like a fun video, but we have 2 more. So the last one of them was mushrooms. There's so many mushrooms. Also, all the food I had was good. Like, I didn't have any bad meals in Scotland, but there's a lot of mushrooms. Like, everything was served with mushrooms. I didn't expect that. Yeah, and it was on menus and stuff, and I was like, oh wow, look at you go. And that just happened really in California. Also, tea off the charts. Obviously it's an island, I should have thought about that, but island girl. Okay, and then the last one, you know who you are, is obviously the sugar. So all of America, sugar, everything, and it's your default, like sugar, and then you're looking for no sugar is the special treat. They're like, oh, did they come out with the no sugar version? Did they come out with the low sugar version? Whatever. But in Scotland, it was flipped, where there was like no sugar was the regular, and you were looking for like the other one. And I was like, this is so like that the government allowed or put actual regulations to force people to be healthier. Because I was like, oh wow, you guys, well, I'm joking, but I was like, wow, they think they're choosing to be healthy, but actually they're giving no choice to be. We were drinking like the sodas, and they were like low sugar. They were like 10 grams. I don't know, it was like so low sugar, but they tasted exactly pretty much the same. Like, they actually tasted a little bit different, but it's exactly the same. I was like, wow, if I had the choice, I would definitely always go with this one. The same with like ices. Like, we went to the movie theaters and we're like, oh, can we just get an icy? While we drank it, we were like,
Zero sugar.
well, they have any sugar? Like, what is this? Oh yeah, and then yeah, also another story. Yeah, I went to go get ice cream. I was like, ooh, this ice cream's like no sugar. I'm like, what the heck? So yeah, I was like, can I just get a vanilla? And then all of a sudden I have low sugar vanilla. But in America, you could be like, can I have a vanilla? They'll be like, oh, do you want low sugar or regular? So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like stuff like that. Like, everything you choose in America, you would just be like, oh, I just want one of these, and you get it, and it's like 60 grams of sugar. You didn't choose for that to happen. That's just how it came. And it's like, wow, the freedom of choice with better choices. Off the top of my head, I want to do the makeup of the people that I saw in Scotland. So I was taking tips. I was like, what is the theme? Like, what's the look that everyone has? Nobody's wearing makeup. I was like, oh. I was like, where are... Boom. There was one group of people who I did see who they had like a very stereotypical, what I would say stereotypical British look. Eyebrows, dark eyebrows, matte face, bronzer blindness. But like, other than that, everybody else had literally barely any makeup, no makeup on. I was like, wow, no. Aw. But it's okay, I'll do a clean makeup look either way. Yeah. Another cultural shock is driving on the other side of the road. Obviously, I didn't have to drive, so no big deal. And even getting on the other side, like in the taxis and stuff, I didn't feel like, whoa, I'm going backwards. Like, I didn't feel any of that. But when we were walking on the street, I kept being like low-key rude because I was like walking in almost, obviously I'd move over, but I'd almost be like walking into people because they're going this way. But in the US, you should be going this way if you're on that side of the street. So I kept just like normally just going around, like my body, like my eyes would be closed and I just go to the wrong side of the road on the sidewalk because, you know, cultural norm. So this was like an actual cultural norm that I just like could not, like till the end of the days that we were there, my body memory was not with it. Like I couldn't, yeah. Oh, and then also another it wasn't really cultural, okay, a little bit of a cultural shock was the sun didn't set till like 10 p.m. We went in July and the sun didn't set till 10 p.m. I was having a blast. I love being out late, but I don't know, I'm too sketched out. I'm like, well, it's getting dangerous. Also super safe, but I didn't really see that many police. I would say that's another cultural shock. Like even police cars, I saw a couple, but like police walking in like large public areas just patrolling, did not see that. And I'm like, wait, do I live in a police state? Like, wait a minute. Haha, not joking. But that was another cultural shock. So I was like, okay, that's cool, must be a high trust area, and it kind of was. I didn't feel in danger for anything at all anywhere. I don't know if there's any other things. Everyone was super friendly, but I feel like everyone's friendly to me, so like, everyone loves me. But yeah, everyone was really nice. Everyone was really talkative. We would ask them a question and we keep yapping with each other for like a long time. So that was really cool. I'm trying to think if there was any other cultural. The flowers were very beautiful. They had like a lot of flowers. It kind of looked like Beverly Hills in some moments with like the way they have all their flowers hanging. I'll put a picture. Boom. Yeah, I don't know, very beautiful, very cool trip. We also went to the museum. The museum was lit. So many free historical things to go look at and stuff. So I had a really good time. I'm actually trying to take my younger cousins there because I'm just like, you guys, wait, I have an itinerary, come follow my itinerary. So yeah, it's gonna be a blast. Bye. Remember, you're entirely up to you. See more, do more, be more. Bye. Ta-ta.